Tribe Talk started a little while ago, and it's a portion of our service where someone in our fellowship and our congregation has an opportunity to share what's on their heart, kind of going along with our read together of what we're reading through in the Bible as a tribe this year. And they have the total of 3 minutes to share that, and at the end they get cut off no matter where they are in their segment. And if you're curious to hear more of what they have to say, it's kind of designed to kind of catch them after service to hear the rest of that. But this week we have a very special individual, someone that some of you might enjoy getting to see up here from time to time, and also someone that I think we all really appreciate as an individual in our lives. So this week we have none other than Pastor Ryan doing the Tribe Talk. So Ryan's going to come on up. Let's give it up for him. No, we're going to give him half. No, I'm just kidding. He's got 3 minutes.
30 seconds.
30 seconds. 5-minute countdown? No. We're doing 3 minutes, and he's going to get his time started, and then Curtis will cut him off. All right.
Give me that thing. This is going to be hard for me now. All right. So last week, we took a look at the book of Jonah, if you've been reading along with us. And Jonah is one of my favorite books of the whole Bible. It's very unique. He's one of the minor prophets. We're reading about these prophetic words that are given, but how many of you guys like the videos that go along? They really explain a lot. If you've been watching the videos on each of the different books, there's some really cool, unique little things that they bring out each time with one of the books. So with Jonah, they were looking at the fact that the story of Jonah is really about Jonah rather than about a word that he was given from the Lord, which is very, very unique in Scripture. And Jonah was a real piece of work. And that's why he got into a lot of trouble. But God used his story to teach the people and to teach us a huge lesson. So I love the story of Jonah. It's an ironic, very satirical look at the heart of the people at the time, where the Lord was using this very rebellious prophet to bring some things to light. And in particular, this one verse really catches me. Jonah 4, verses 2-3. Jonah basically says, "Lord, I fled to Tarshish because I knew you were gracious and compassionate, slow to anger and abounding in loving kindness, a God who relents from sending calamity." So he's basically saying to God, I knew you were so awesome that I couldn't allow you to do good things. So he actually was doing something that I love in Scripture. And he basically finishes up by saying, why don't you just kill me now? Because I don't want to be part of your redemption. So it's just such an ironic picture of what God's doing in his life. It's so dramatic. And I love the fact that the Bible tells stories related to core issues of the heart, rather than just the happenings or the events that happened at the time. This particular story has two of my favorite things that happen in it. First is Jonah actually uses God's goodness as an insult. It's kind of ironic, right? I love when people do this. They're like, yeah, well, I just knew you were awesome at everything, so I just didn't invite you to the party, right? So Jonah does this to God, and it reminds me so much of what the Pharisees did to Jesus. Because what did they call him? They called him a friend of sinners, and they thought this would be an insult to him, but he took it as a compliment. And God does that over and over and over again, because you and I need a friend like that. And he cares more about us than what the Pharisees thought. He cares more about those people that he sent Jonah to than what Jonah maybe thought. So I love that that happens. And we learn that in God's view, self-righteousness does not equal righteousness. Self-righteousness does not equal righteousness. If anything, it's laughable in the face of God's incredibly holy nature. And the last thing that happens is it's kind of like God's mic drop. The story ends with a question. And God's saying to Jonah, shouldn't I care more about the hundreds of thousands of people here than your stupid plant? And it's kind of like it ends on a question mark. And basically God is giving Jonah this question. He's also giving us a question today and challenging the attitudes of us. The reality is this: God gets through to the people of Nineveh, but does he ever get through to Jonah? And that's really where it leaves us, the story of Jonah. At one point, God can use a donkey to accomplish his plans. And I pray that God never has to use a donkey instead of me. I pray that God never finds me with a heart like Jonah's. But I pray that you guys are enjoying our reading plan, and that is all I have.
Okay. I'll give that one to you. All right, good job.